And we're back. This is super exciting because I met this gentleman on a yacht, a very beautiful yacht in Tampa. And introduce yourself to everybody.
I am Mike Homesteader.
Oh, is that the right mic? Oh, he said the other microphone.
Yep, use that one. There you are.
We got 2 mics. Actually, we have 3 mics. 4 mics. This his name is Mike. Michael.
Yeah, I'm Mike Homesteader, the CEO over Clearwater Jolly Trolley.
That's right. And the Jolly Trolley is like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. How many trolleys do we have here?
We have 36 trolleys that we service our community in several different ways.
First, I have to tell you, you're also with the Bay Area Concierge Association.
Oh, they're wonderful people, and I love CC and the group over there. Just left a few of them actually at the Amplify event. That's where I'm just coming from.
Oh, yes. Cece is amazing. She is a new head of everything, and she does such a great job emailing us, and it's been a blessing. And I'm a concierge at one of the hotels. I can't say where, but I'm having a blast as well. I think I sent 12 people on the Jolly Trolley in the last 2 days.
Hey, did you hear back?
I heard they were so excited, except when they went through the graveyard. They were like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, that's real ghost seeing. This is the real deal here.
Wow. So I have to ask you, how did you get with Jolly Trolley?
Yeah, I mean, real interesting. I just moved down here from Chicago.
Okay, you're Midwestern. I'm Milwaukee. Neighbors.
Right on, neighbors. And I'm sure we both came down here for the same reason.
Yes.
Sunshine and these beautiful, incredible beaches.
Did you ever come to visit Clearwater Beach before you moved here? Like
all the time, of all places. So my parents retired from Disney, but they live in Orlando.
Okay.
So for 25 years,
oh wow,
I have vacationed down here. And the reason I took on this assignment was to bring some more additional family entertainment to this area.
Nice.
And that's exactly what we have produced right here, right now. And
wow.
It's a nostalgical kind of just a tour of so much great history that sits in this, maybe one of the oldest cities ever here in America. Back before America was America, it was Florida. And right here, is really one of the founding places, and we bring these stories to life of the pioneers of the families that actually built the train tracks and the largest wooden structures. But as everything happens over time,
I have to go back because a couple things. When I first saw Florida, my parents brought me to the Holiday Inn down there. Now it's no longer at the corner by the bridge in Sand Key. And who knew? Watch what you put on your refrigerator, because I put Florida all over Clearwater Beach. And years later, I'm here. And back in the days, I put a sailboat when I was a flight attendant. And I'm like, I'm making $30,000 a year flying with the Florida Panthers. It was great. And I'm like, how am I ever going to get a sailboat? Well, God has a sense of humor. And my husband, we have SunKidsCharters.com. But so we have the same sailboat almost I put on my refrigerator. So if you're planning to move here, that's your magical, yes, it's a vision board.
Yeah, no, whenever you put God first on any venture, you're going to succeed. And
exactly.
That's exactly what it took to bring these stories to life. And the history was there. And these ideas have been there forever. The Clearwater Historic Society was such a major part in making this happen. And it's their history.
Exactly. I have to say, with the Bay Area Concierge Association, anybody can join if they're an outside vendor like us or other people. We went on the Jolly Trolley Christmas tour. What an experience that was. I want to tell you, I didn't dress up, which I should have for Christmas, but this year I will. It was so major magical Christmas that it was everybody dressed up, and tell us about what they do, and they rented it for us.
So this year we've expanded our service. So last year, even in the past that the Jolly Trolley has done it. So this last year we tried to make the processes a little bit smoother and provide more value to everybody.
I'm going to turn you around to the camera so they can see you.
This year now,
there you go.
We've put together individual ticket sales. We have 2 different tours we're doing. We partner with the Botanical Gardens, which has, absolutely Disney quality light show that goes off there. So we're going to bring you through over there. We're going to bring you around some of our little secret spots here that over the years that we've been doing this that we found. And really just showcase an amazing time of the season that we have to celebrate.
You took us through the home areas that had the best lighting houses for the area that were all, my God, lit up and magical. And you went to another area. We came back so refreshed and went to the Largo Park with the lights. That was so beautiful. And I just, that was so memorable on that. Also, too, is with the Jolly Trolley, the haunted tour. Now, you have two of them, north and south. Explain both of them. I know that the one is kind of full for September right now, I noticed.
Yeah, October, we've got a lot of dates as we're getting ready for the season coming up here that we've already got sold out. We are launching next week the north side of the tour. And that one, we actually, there's more ghosts that you're going to see there. Some incredible stories here, some very deep sacrifices made over time. But it's definitely worth your time here if you want to hear some really deep stories that sit at that cemetery, which has even a baby burial ground little section to it, but also
Oh my God.
from the Union soldiers here and the Confederate soldiers. And there's a funny story that goes along with that. The first time I actually went out of that cemetery, there was a coyote, the biggest coyote we've ever seen. I'm like in this little Mazda Miata convertible, and I got Dave from the Dunedin Museum with me.
Oh, wow.
And this coyote we thought was going to jump in the car.
Oh no.
But this coyote actually, when people put flags out there, everybody thought somebody was actually taking them when they found out it was the coyote. So whenever people leave flags, the coyote actually grabs them.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That's interesting. And I noticed, give the website and then tell them how to book, because it's very easy.
Yeah, it's hauntedclearwater.com or clearwaterjollytrolley.com. Also, we've got the hauntedDunedin.com coming here, which I think you can go on and put together some dates now. Also, we're going to be releasing here in the next few weeks our Brews and Booze, where we're going from brewery to cemetery to brewery to cemetery to brewery. So that'll be a real fun one coming up for the month here. And what a way to celebrate in the Gulf Coast here in Florida.
That's interesting. Now, I also see, how many trolleys are there, would you say?
We have 36 trolleys.
Really?
And we've got a lot of ways, and we've become the attraction that takes you to your destination. So when you're down here getting married or, and for your wedding, either beach wedding, how fantastic it is to have the trolley. But even when you're down here, getting married at these beautiful churches to get all your guests there together, or, the night before to go out and enjoy, some food over and get on one of these yachts that we got, these amazing yachts that we have right here in Clearwater
the yacht
Pier
Starship
60.
is awesome for a dinner cruise.
Oh, incredible. And what a deal it is, too. It's amazing with all the prices that have gone up that they've done their best to remain, the same, just like Jolly Trolley has. We're non-for-profit, so we have not increased our prices here.
Right. It's such a pleasure because we went on that beautiful yacht. I have to tell this story, what happened. We were invited with the Bay Area Concierge Association. We get in this beautiful yacht. It's raining slightly. We get out there. We're thinking of this wonderful cruise, and we're talking, and the Coast Guard came on, and they just wanted to play with everybody to make sure everybody had vest on, that it wasn't a paying cruise, that we were guests. So they were going around telling everybody, oh, so how'd you get here? We're a guest. And they ruined our whole trip.
That was like Mar-Largo almost here, just on a much lesser level, but wow.
I know. I sat and I made a TikTok video where I had a glass of champagne and I went, this is how we do it or something. And there, you can see the Coast Guard coming on. And I'm just like cheering and just sitting. But I got to meet you as well. And out of all this craziness with it, what happened, then we had to turn the boat around because then it poured down rain.
Oh, my son's been in the Coast Guard for a dozen years. I couldn't even share that story with them. It was hard to believe that had ever happened.
There were like 6 or 7 of them. They just always up and checking everything. Like, really, people, we were out to have a good time. But the hors d'oeuvres were amazing.
Food was wonderful.
Yes,
everybody.
that chef.
the crew was just dynamite.
Exactly. So with back to the Jolly Trolley, so a lot of people want to know like how far it goes. Now I do know because I send people a lot, and I'll tell them they want to go to Tarpon Springs. Do they have to go down to the main bus station and then change over in Clearwater to get the Tarpon one?
Yeah,
You
so
know?
it depends where you're coming from.
Right.
We've got 3 trolleys that run all day from 8 to 8:15 in the morning till 11 p.m. every night. On the weekends, we're running till 1 in the morning. On that
Wow.
so it's every hour it passes through. You know, we come up through Dunedin, we go through Palm Harbor, and then we go up to Dodo Canese. And the Dodo Canese, I mean, you've got some of the most amazing little Greek little treasures up there. Some
Oh,
terrific
yeah.
food, and we go there. We stop at the end at one of my all-time favorite restaurants, Rusty Bellies, and
Oh, okay.
from there we have a half an hour layover. We use that to try to balance out the time
Mhm.
throughout the year as we get these seasonal adjustments in traffic.
Okay.
So when you do see the trolley sitting there, it's for the year-round convenience factor of trying to provide the most accurate schedule that we can here
Right.
under the conditions.
Well, yeah, I want to say where I work, it's so great because they get they show their room key, and they get to ride for free, which is amazing for the customers. And I even had a compliment one time. I think it was after the 10:30 one, and I think the driver was going back that way, so she dropped the guest off at the hotel, and she came back. She goes, "I can't believe the courtesy I got from Jolly Trolley. It was amazing."
Our drivers are a team that is just incredible. We've got some guys that they've literally put their life out there when they're going to a cemetery every night. I mean, here's a funny story. So Dave has been one of our drivers from the time we started this 7 weeks ago. So he's driving us like 4 times a week, and some nights he's driving it 3 times. So he tells me, Mike, I've got a ghost now at home, and I don't know if I should tell my wife or not. And I'm like, okay.
Oh no, something followed him home.
Right. And then days later, his wife calls me, and she's like, Mike, we have a ghost now at our house. And I'm like, I'm not the bad guy here. I mean, I'm hoping they didn't yawn or whistle, because you never do that going into a cemetery.
Oh, geez.
But maybe if you're there enough times and he's out there till midnight every night, maybe
he just likes to ride the
yawned.
Jolly Trolley, because it's fun.
But we got some real ghost stories here. I mean, if you got a few minutes, I'd be more than
we
happy
have another
to.
15 minutes.
I could share one with you, but this story here, first of all, continues to grow, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And as I said from go here, is we start everything with the purpose to make certain it's going to succeed. Well, the purpose here, when Dunedin Museum, we were working on this for months, and I asked them for a story, and I said, I need the story here that's going to make this. All the people. I mean, you got the original founders here, the McMullins, the Turners,
Mhm. Tell the people who the McMullins and the Turners were, so they know.
Well, when you drive down the streets and you see these names, that sit on these green and white signs, and we wonder, where does Turner come from? Where does McMullen come from? Where does Coachman
Like
come
McMullen
from?
Booth, then, yeah.
Okay, and McMullen Booth. And just, here's a funny thing right here, a little piece of history. That is John Wilkes Booth, the man that assassinated the President of the United States. That is his cousin that street is named after.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Talk about histories and mysteries all the way around.
Well, I just found out our motto for Florida is "In God We Trust." We look it up to Google it.
Right. Everybody else pays cash.
Wow, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. So, what else that people can learn from the Jolly Trolley? The times. What were the times again?
So it runs at 10:30 every night.
Is there a 7:32 or not?
Yeah, we do 7:30s on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays,
Okay.
9 o'clock as well in between. It's a 75-minute tour. In October, we're running 3 times a night, but we got some nights already sold out all the way around.
Are they dressing up for Halloween for that? Or
Well, here, okay, yes.
Okay.
Biloco event just did it, and they looked amazing. I got to share the pictures with you, which I'll send to you. But they were all dressed like unbelievable. This Saturday, At the 9 o'clock, we got 24 witches that are
my
going
gosh.
to be on the trolley. So
I
if you
know
want
what my friends are thinking. They're watching from church. They're like, Dawn, what are you doing?
So if you want to witness this probably one and only time event, it will be if you get on to 7:30, they'll be getting off at the 9 o'clock or getting on
So
at the
are they
9.
dressing up or are they real?
Oh, they're real. They're the real deal witches. They're the
Oh, my
dancing
God.
witches of Dunedin.
Oh my God.
You know,
I know somebody that's listening that would really like to do this. And that's to me, that's interesting. I mean,
Oh, this is this Saturday. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. That'll never happen again. But also, let me tell you about another first time amazing thing coming up October 7th and 8th with the Capitol Theater. Inspired there by this tour here is actually Kendra talks about some of the haunts that are happening there today.
now the Capitol Theater's been here for how long? That's been
Forever.
yeah, 19 something.
Forever. It's
Right.
changed over a few times. Matter of fact, let me just share some pictures that actually we have on that you'll see on our sightseeing tour.
Oh wow.
But we have back when Mr. Roebling would drive his alligator out of his pool at his house over at the Roebling Manor over and park it in front of the Capitol Theater. He was
Oh.
the only man, which still today he has a seat inside of that place named after himself. That's a double wide seat.
Oh geez.
But it was his own seat that he had in there back in like the front row. But now
Okay.
they brought it back, keeping that remembrance alive.
Wow.
But these stories out of that theater, I don't know how Kendra does it. She's been the manager over there. She's just she's a spectacular person. So I truly believe everything that she says. But when she starts talking about like what these ghosts, they're not bad ghosts, not mean ghosts. I mean, we keep away from all of those. That's why we only go to the safest places and the safest.
I'd bring my holy
cemeteries.
water with me. Seriously.
It's a good start.
I tell you. You're like blessing me.
Get a water
Bless me.
buffalo.
For sure. You are such a joy to have here. You have a great radio voice.
Well, I've always been told I have a great radio face, of course.
No. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook, so you got to turn more that way to the camera up there as well. So, have you ever thought of like doing like an old time radio show, like you know how they used to do the spooky haunted radio show? You remember that, Bobby? You know, it was like, what was that called? It was called Classic Radio. No, not
Radio
Classic.
plays.
It was. There was another name for it. I just went blank on it, but you know, like the old time radio with you be in your car and you hear the story on the air and you wouldn't get out of your car because you wanted to hear the end of it.
I just left over there at Hogan's because I'm trying to get Mr. Hogan, talk him into doing the voiceover on the sightseeing.
Oh, wow.
And I was just explaining to
Did you talk to his friend, Ron Howard? Ronnie?
no.
Ronnie runs hi Ronnie, if you're listening. He runs the Hulk Hogan shop. He's friends with my friend Marcus in Miami.
Perfect. And you will connect these dots here when we're done. And how great would that be to have, as we just talked about how things were back then, but he was beyond legendary.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, there was literally, he was at the top. I mean, so many people were inspired by what he did.
Well,
And
now, at Hogan's Hangout, I haven't been there on a Monday. I don't do karaoke, but I do hear that his son Nick is running the karaoke. And I guess Hulk does pop in. Am I supposed to say this on the air? Maybe you'll see him, maybe you won't. But I had some guests that were so excited. They were from out of state and they're like, I'm going Monday night. It was last night. So I hope they had a great time over there.
I did get tipped off that he announces the karaoke winners.
Oh, gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, if you ever want a show here, we could call the Jolly Trolley Show.
No, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't you like that, Bobby? The Jolly Trolley stories, just bring it to the airwaves.
Oh,
And then you host it.
With all of the great events that we do every week, it's we get to be part of so many people's weddings, which is such an important day for them all. And we've been providing for 40 years here to our community these services. And we take them quite serious. We know all the right people.
Mhm.
We work with all the concierge to make certain that everything is seamless. So that day goes as great as you could ever even imagine it.
You go all the way down to John's Pass, you go to St. Petersburg, they have to change over, but you give them, the guests that come here for travel, you give them an experience, which is amazing. How did the Jolly Trolley, I know we have 7 minutes left, but how did the Jolly Trolley start? How did the beginning start?
So it began here to service our amazing aquarium that we have.
Ah,
No.
who founded it?
It was a few different guys that lived in the area here that were very solid, smart businessmen that loved the community, and they wanted to provide an additional service. The sustainability here of our island and the area and the growth as we know it here, transportation overall can play actually a very crucial and critical role in
Mhm.
either the advancement or the slowage of it.
Right.
So they had a vision, and we're following that vision and our mission statement. It's to get the emissions, relieve them off, get some less traffic out there, and to be able to provide safer transportation to people of tourist areas. When there's so many people from out of town.
And there's so many that fly in and they do not have cars, and they will not park in Clearwater Beach because the parking's $20-$30 on the weekend. And they're like, I'm taking the Jolly Trolley. And how much is a Jolly Trolley if they take it?
The Jolly Trolley is $5 all day. That has not increased there. It's $2.25 for a single ride. It's $1.10 here if you're over 65. We're ADA compliant, and it's a great, incredible way of just getting around and seeing our amazing city. We're working on showcasing it, bringing some advanced enhancements to it here to point out some of the greater aspects that we have.
What if you did like a Jolly Trolley karaoke? Could you do something like that?
Absolutely.
I would, because
Yeah.
I have people. That would be fun. That would be another thing. Now, I do have some friends that were here called Stand Up for News, and we were trying to find a new spot for comedy. And we were over at a restaurant, but they closed in Clearwater. Would you ever think of doing like stand-up comedy Jolly Trolley?
That is actually when I started with Jolly Trolley a year and a half ago. I kid you not. Those two things you just talked to are sitting in my 7 little plans
Oh my
on different
gosh.
tours that I am rolling out.
We would be running commercials for that. And I have so many comics that are from all over, and they're looking for a place. And that would be more of an experience. Come on the Jolly Trolley comedy tour. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would end up being probably the greatest comedy tour.
I know.
Ever.
See, I'm working with the National Comedy Hall of Fame. Tony has a big show. We've got the comics coming on next week. It's in Spring Hill. We're going to talk about that. But I've been after, we're trying to get Hulk Hogan's place, and then they have their karaoke. But, so many people love to sing. So you have the karaoke Jolly Trolley, and then that would be like a separate, and the comics, that would be the clean comedy, of course, because you're going to have family and kids, unless it's an adult like comedy trolley. Trolley.
These guys are so amazing writing comedy, and to give them some information here and allow them to go to certain areas and to find these stories and to put their twist and it would be amazing on how great that the comedy could really become after.
I'm telling you, all these comedy clubs and people, and there's so many restaurants, these comics would love to do this, and you book the best ones, and they can get tips, of course, for that.
We have tip drawer.
Exactly. Sorry.
Installed in our trolleys here. Absolutely. We have a great staff, and our staff really works hard. They go above and beyond, and they deliver, make certain that your experience is just as good as it could be here. So a few bucks, for everybody that really does a good job. In today's world, we all need to save our money, be smart with it. But those that go above and beyond, let's reward them.
So how do we get the comedy Jolly Trolley started in the karaoke?
We go on this. We put some my business plan. I have been working at a lesser percentage than what would need to finish us off. But I mean, it would
be fun. Wouldn't you see that, Bobby? You take the Jolly Trolley, around, and you're getting laughter while you travel. It would be like a private one, like the Christmas, and right? Would you say would be a private Jolly Trolley tour?
Yeah, we would, through routine is where success comes. So we set up, Friday, a Saturday, or maybe 2 or 3 is we grow into this, and we start with one on a Friday here, and as that fills up, we go to either two on a Friday
And
or
it could be the same price like the other one. People will pay. It's a show, and then you already have a microphone on the bus. I mean, the Jolly Trolley.
they're set up to do exactly just that.
Yeah.
Our new trolleys we just got, which are these carriage trolleys that are like 40 years old. They're just beautiful, and we're refurbishing them all right now here, and as they're coming complete, they just look incredible. But those could fit 38 people.
Wow, that's what I was going to ask, because we only have 3 minutes left, but I have to tell you, there was a company, Captain Brian was amazing. He had the Manatee Queen in Jupiter. It was a huge pontoon boat, and I would get on there and I'd fill that thing up. I'm not kidding you. We'd fill it up every week, and we'd do a talent search called Be Discovered, and we'd have singers come on. I'd bring in agents and producers, and they didn't know who was sitting there. So that's another thing. There's so many singers out there that want to be, and you just get some of the local agents and producers that are doing movies, and they're sitting there, so they don't know who they are till the end. And they loved it, and they performed. So we called Be Discovered. It was very successful. The newspapers even picked us up in Jupiter, saying, the to be discovered on the Manatee Queen, get to be a star. Of course, you're not a star. You're kind of just helping with your talent. But they all mostly got signed by all the agents and producers and casting directors that were there.
So many great things, come together when you work, for the good of everybody, and you help promote other people and their successes in the different ways that we can.
Exactly. I know our time is up, Mike. Mike, did I say Michael? Michael. And you are the Chief Executive Officer of the Clearwater Jolly Trolley. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Give your website one more time that they can go to.
It's clearwaterjollytrolley.com or hauntedclearwater.com.
That's right. And you can book your tickets now. I noticed on the website there it will say how much is the tickets for the tours?
Right now the tickets are $29 for adults and $19 for the children.
So 19 and under?
I think it's 12 and under here.
Okay, 12 and under.
Right, if they were
9,
18,
12. They were-
still calling them a child.
They're still in your house. They're still child.
Get them
Well,
out of the
12 and
house,
under.
right? Get them out.
Exactly. Well, again, thank you so much for watching. And we're so excited because, of course, NationalComedyHallOfFame.com. Please check that out. And Tony's looking for a place for his new museum, which he has so many memorabilia from, oh my God, Robin Williams. And we have an amazing comic on next week. It's a big charity event. And Soap This is coming up in October. If you like soap opera stars, go to Facebook, go to Soap This, and I'll see you there with a lot of soap opera stars from Days of Our Lives, Young and Restless. It's going to be super amazing. And I'm Dawn Reese, and you are Michael.
Mike helps.
There you go, Mike. And we'll see you on the Jolly Trolley, and it's perfect for weddings. I'm Dawn Reese. We'll see you next week. God bless you.
WTAN Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF Dig City,
FM 102.3,
WZHR Zephyr Hills.
FM 104.3.
Listen.
You're listening to the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by NHTSA.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Republican governors are working to expand their campaigns to send thousands of immigrants from Texas to Democratic states and cities. CBS's Manuel Bajorquez says that there will